Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. Yeah, it's lit in the Chop Shop. Turn your dials up in the drop top. They ain't based the debate, but they keep it fact straight. Going 30 for 30. Let's do a first take on Facebook Live from 12 to 2. Rob Hatter and Jim Hicks going back and forth like Carter Ray, Skip Bayless and Stephen Smith. From on the court, off the court, straight to the field. Not a man that steals, but I made it steal to the octagon where I fight to kill. We go face to face, then you write your will. I don't play tennis, but I bring the racket. I'm on the floor, I attack the basket, put you in the casket when I'm overlapping. Never showing mercy, cause I'm always snapping. Never showing mercy when I'm in the arena. Step into the ring, he hit me as I beat him. Step into the court, I'm never backing down. Killing competition, I'm smacking down. Let me get back to the other stuff at the Chop Shop, cause they cutting up. It's Retro coming to you live to the Chop Shop. Now let's turn it up. Yeah, we in the Chop Shop, man. Shout out to Jim Hicks and Rob Hatter. You can catch the Chop Shop live from 12 to 2 on Facebook Live. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop.
H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside Jim, the legend, Cheat Sheet Hicks, in the building today. We're coming to you live from Houston, Texas, but we're broadcasting all over the world. We got Lupe Nunez on the feed already, Businessman on the, Madonna Johnson on the feed already. And Jim, before I go anywhere, our collective hearts, thoughts, and prayers go out to the family of the student killed at Bel Air High School yesterday. The entire extended campus community and everyone else who was impacted, the Chop Shop, Jimmy and I, we send out our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers out to you today. That's how I wanted to start the show off. And Jimmy, another thing, Jimmy, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would have turned 91 years old today. Happy birthday to one of our country's greatest leaders, a courageous change maker, and a revolutionary activist. Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday today. And it's Women Rock Wednesday. Yes, it's Women Rock Wednesday. And Jimmy, right on time, Women Rock Wednesday. Happy Founders Day to all the AKAs out there. Alpha, Kappa, Alpha, sororities, the pink and green. Happy Founders Day to y'all. Incorporated the vision. They say 112 years later, there's 300,000 members, and they're still providing outstanding service to all mankind. So today we honor your founders and we celebrate your excellence, young ladies. Wow, got that out the way. Jim, what you got? What you got on Women Rock Wednesday, man? I know we got a lot of stuff. We got a special guest coming on later. What you got today?
Well, as promised, we vowed to get into the conversation with you guys today about the WNBA and their collective bargaining agreement deal, which they've recently that earlier this week they went and solidified. And a lot of the women around the country, around the world, are rejoicing at the opportunity now that exists for females to have a career in professional basketball, and that could be economically favorable to their families. There's a lot of people that are working. Understand, when these women went on the road, they slept, they had roommates. So they would patch up with teammates on the road. A little bitty thing like that.
It's seniority wise, Jim. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're over a 5-year vet, you get a room by yourself. But 5 years and under, you have to, buck up.
And that's an inconvenience for some.
Yeah.
Think about it. If you patched up with one that snores,
yeah,
one that may have stinking feet, one of bad hygiene, just whatever. One of them might. Some people don't go to sleep at the same clock hour that the next person does. So but they also, some of the benefits of this new deal, which will go into place. When does it go in, Hal?
Okay, first of all, it comes in this year. It's a new 8-year CBA meaning collective bargaining agreement. It's called groundbreaking and is agreed upon by the WNBA and its players. The salary, it's effective immediately. The salaries go up. Some basics that you wouldn't have thought that they already had, like Jimmy just said, they didn't even have a hotel room on the road. Jimmy, and paid maternity leave. Also, better travel that's been lousy. We've documented on this show, right? The women had to stay from the Las Vegas Aces had to stay in the airport for 24 hours one time trying to get to the East Coast or the East Coast. And I think Chelsea might have been Kelsey Bone might have been playing on that team. And Jimmy, but for me, it's not just a win for the 144 amazing women in the WNBA. It's a win for women, period. Because, Jimmy, in the workplace in America right now, a lot of companies don't allow paid maternity leave. And the WNBA is setting a standard and setting up an example for the other industries to follow. People will talk about the salary, but it's a win for the player's experience, Jimmy. Like you just said, I don't have to sleep in the room with her no more. Candace Parker, she had a unique situation where she had a baby in her rookie year. And guess what? And she had to bring her mom along because she nursed the kid. So she had to bring her mom to take care of the baby, right? So guess what? She had to buy a room out of pocket for her mom every time. So, the biggest thing to me, the player's experience, it's a holistic CBA. And the biggest thing that won in the NBA is the NBA is betting on women, Jimmy. They believe in this women. You remember we start talking about the NBA don't believe in the women. They don't do this. They created a revenue stream that instead of these women have to go over the seas to make money in the summer, in the off season, they can get full pay here. It's just an unbelievable. This should be in the workplace for women. And Jimmy, by the way, there's a 30% increase in the salary cap, and the higher max player will be making nearly double. And so it's a unique situation, man. I'm ecstatic. And Jimmy, the NBA and the WNBA bought in. They putting their money in too, Jimmy. They going out getting sponsors, marketing opportunities, so the top girls can make a lot more money. You follow me? So that's getting an incentive so you to be the best girl, the top woman's player. So the Trey Phillips and Odyssey Williams and all of these people, it's a long time coming. I am proud. Because, Jimmy, you was tearing the NBA head off last year. Talking about why they won't get them women this. Guess what? Hey, great deal. And, Jimmy, you know what's so unique? The two young ladies, Nneka and China Blumike, these young women, Agumake, whatever, these two young women are in the hierarchy in the Players Association, the WNBA, 2 women from Houston, Texas, are in leadership position, and they were instrumental in helping getting this thing done. One sister was on Good Morning America yesterday morning talking about this with Robin Roberts, and another sister was on ESPN talking about it on ESPN. So Houston, Texas, these young ladies, y'all did these. Whoever helped groom these young ladies, I don't know them. Whoever that community helped they groomed 2 leaders, and I'm so proud of that. I'm proud of that community out there. Their mom and dad in the community that helped groom those women. Notice I said groom those women to become leaders. So that's all I got to say.
And another important thing that's included into this deal is the mental health in clause. That means it'll be easier for a lot of the women to get to seek assistance and seek medical attention for mental health issues, which has been, I guess, an elephant in the room, not only on women's side, but on men's side as well. Shout out to you guys. I see Desiree Benson. Shout out to you. Good afternoon to you as well. John Newsom. I see Michael Jordan. Hey, Michael Jordan, we didn't realize he's the referee. That blows the whistle. And next week, we're going to have a conversation coming from the referee side, whose side on their angle from their perch is often unheard.
Yes.
Because they get to hear things that people in the stands don't from a lot of these kids.
No, Jim, from what the kids be doing. Okay, I got you.
Yes.
I got you.
Yes. Yes. So definitely we're getting that. Also on yesterday, being the basketball news and NBA news, of course, not necessarily news, but NBA results. What will it take for the Houston Rockets to pull it together? Another loss against a team that has no business beating the Rockets.
I thought you said this the regular season. Ain't you, Mr. talking about the regular season don't matter? Don't that what you be talking about? Regular season?
Regular season don't matter for James Harden. That's what. It don't matter for James Harden no more. The regular season. Regular season matters for the Houston Rockets.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
No. Not when you're the golden goose. It is not. You're the golden goose. And whatever Harden does will be appreciated during the regular season, but he's not going to be measured.
Well, first of all, they got beat by a team that won 6 in a row, then whooped up on some other teams that's good in this NBA too. And a couple of weeks ago, I tried to forewarn you how good that young kid was. And I got a little kickback from you because I know you don't watch the kid in Memphis like I do. And you went back and looking at his stats and, well, he didn't do this and he didn't do this and he did this. But I was trying to tell you, he's must see TV. I'm talking about Ja Morant. And the Houston Rockets and most of the teams that they have lost to has been teams like that. They get up for the better teams, and they've been losing to these teams that had sub 500 records. I mean, hey, it's just the way it is. Some people don't get up. The Clippers lose to some people. But what I'm telling you, Jimmy, what I'm watching the Rockets play because I watched the game. I know you didn't watch it. I watched the game. Rockets had several chances to win that game. Had several games. They just sometimes the Rockets just. They have spasms. Oh, I can't believe I used that word. They have moments in games that cause them to lose games like this. There's a few moments in that game that cause them to lose a game like that. I know you can talk about them and say what you want about them, but if you watch the game was closer than the 11 points indicated.
Well, a lot of games are closer. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to care about 11-point loss or necessarily, but this type of loss. And a matter of fact, in the midst of this game, a lot of people a moment that went viral. Ja Morant goes directly at James Harden. So, and understand something. He makes a bucket or assist on a bucket and then comes back. What does he say, House? You watch the game. What did he say? What did this young man say towards James Harden?
I'm letting you. You want to talk about this? You choose to bring this up. I'm gonna let you do it.
So you don't tell me what
about it. It's no coincidence to me. The boy been doing everybody like that. But now that it's James Harden, I tried to tell you 2 weeks ago, and you got on this air. He talked.
That is indeed true. You tried to tell me. I am a fan now of Ja Morant. He's the best rookie in the league.
Because of what he did to James Harden?
Well, at that moment, that's an exclamation point. This is a key moment that people will remember forever. Remember Allen Iverson when he was a rookie, what he did to Michael Jordan? Remember that move? That move you never forgot. AI went to court the free throw line and crossed the great MJ up, who was a multiple defensive player of the year. Gave him the crossover. And MJ bid for it, and AI hit the bucket.
Notice what you said. You had some key words. You remember I listened. It's a difference between listening and hearing. You said Allen Iverson crossed the defensive player of the year up. So it's okay for Ja Morant to cross James up because James has never been known as the defensive player of the year. You just brought that up now.
We're not talking about the cross up. It's the fact that in case you guys missed it, here's what this young man said within earshot. So looking directly towards James Harden, he says, "Tell that MF about me." Y'all better tell that MF about me. Said it twice. Mind you. So then he goes back and put the James Harden move on James Harden and hit the bucket. So that's what I'm saying is these are these will never be remembered.
I love how you so eloquently just help. Think about what you said. He put the James Harden move on James Harden. James Harden got to move. Ain't too many people in the NBA got to move. Ain't too many people in NBA history got to move. You trying to talk down on a dude that got his own move. He got his own move, Jimmy. Unbelievable. But keep on talking. Keep on talking.
Now we go to the Boomer Room, and Michael Jordan say it's amazing how people focus on AI cross MJ, but don't focus on the 6 rings. No, this wasn't about that move. Wasn't a blemish on MJ's record. It was a notch in the belt of AI. That move was a defining moment to look out of. AI had become officially on the watch. Remember, Allen Iverson briefly came into that league with a ton of turbulence and baggage preceding and following him. Understand this. So he came in the league with a bunch of resistance. And I mentioned yesterday about the cornrows. That stuff, dude, they changed the dress code primarily because of this young man who was a convicted felon. Understand that not many convicted felons during that time got an opportunity to earn millions.
Jimmy, it's a lot went into that dress code thing. It wasn't just about Allen Iverson.
No, he was primary, but he was a primary because of the.
I don't want to confuse the people who don't know. It was a cultural thing. I mean, people was being lax and just being and Jimmy and you know we were remiss because we have not did a show and talked about David Stern. You know his passing away a few years ago. He was the one instituted that rule, and he took a lot of flack for that. And he just said, "Man, dude, you don't have to wear a suit, but just wear a collared shirt, some nice jeans, and some shoes." He said, "We just want to differentiate you from the people that's not playing. You know, anybody, y'all are a valuable commodity to us. When y'all go in a hotel or y'all come in an arena, we want to be able to differentiate y'all between the other. And I know people took it as like there's racism. No, but NBA, it looks better. And guess what? That seed, that mandate that David Stern put out to the players, look at the players now. Look what we got now, Jimmy, when they walk in. They got red carpets now when they walk in. Players are conscious about, they're proud of what they wear to the games now. I mean, they got a website or a Twitter devoted to players coming in what they're wearing now. So I'm just talking about, I know people back in our day, people were talking about, man, he's trying to make Allen Iverson what? No. All he did is change the culture. And now these players are more fashion conscious. Now you got players, Jimmy, like Kelly Oubre and Jordan Clarkson, and Russell Westbrook, they are, and Dwayne Wade, they are attending Fashion Week overseas and in New York. So, of course, I mean, Allen Iverson spearheaded it, but I think it was a great rule because it morphed into something a little bit better, a little bit different for me, because I like to dress up. So that's why I love the rule.
Understand this. Mm-hmm. From that time, that moment, that era, and short afterwards, think about it. What caused the NBA and the new commissioner to ease the dress code? Because now they have to wear collars anymore. Have you guys noticed that? They don't have to wear, remember that was a stigma that they don't have to wear that anymore. You see guys coming with T-shirts back again. But back then it was the
I don't
guys
see too many T-shirts unless it got something covered. I don't see too, and I watched the game. I don't see too many T-shirts.
Just last week, Russell Westbrook, when he went back to OKC, he had a T-shirt on. It was a black T-shirt, and that T-shirt had a message on it. Right? So that guys wearing T-shirts.
I think he had something covering it, Jimmy. If somebody can find that picture, it was
chilly up there. He had a coat on.
Yeah, he had a coat.
But he had a T-shirt. He had a T-shirt on.
Jimmy, a jacket, okay? A jacket represents a collar. A jacket has a collar on it, a lapel on it. Okay, a jacket represents. I know some restaurants you have to go to. You have to have, if you come in and you don't have a jacket on, they'll give you a jacket. So a jacket, always remember, a jacket is part of got a collar or a lapel on it. So that count as a collar. Just in case you didn't. But it's a unique thing. But now let's get back to Ja Morant. That guy, and I didn't say he was the best thing like you said. All I said, he's must-see TV, and if he come to town, I would go and see him. And guess what? He gonna get his head beat in when he come to Houston the next time, though. Yeah, trying to do James like that.
Once again,
it's gonna be a different result.
Ja Morant went at James Harden during the game. So my question to you was, does that provide an example of the lack of respect for what is considered an OG in James Harden compared to Ja Morant?
I told you.
He come right in here as a rookie. You still wet behind the ears. Jimmy, and you go and you.
I was trying to explain. That's what I was trying to explain to you. I've been watching the kid. Kid been doing it to everybody. James just happened to be the victim tonight.
No, I'm not saying what he did, Harold. You keep saying what he did. You've said that what he did. I'm talking about what he said. See, that's different.
Excuse me.
He ain't telling everybody.
Jimmy, he's probably, I don't know, he probably been saying that to everybody because he said it. Y'all better tell this. Evidently, they don't know who I am. Jimmy Hicks, he was talking to dudes like you because just a couple of weeks ago, you tried to tell, he was talking to guys like you. He wasn't talking to James. He was talking to guys like you, too. James just might, but guess what? He did it on a big stage. Hold on. Let me help you out. He did it on a big stage so guys like you can change your mind.
Dude, understand something. Do you understand the equivalent of what happened? What that was last night? That's just like okay, I'm gonna tell you the equivalent. LJ Cry is the top player in Houston. That's like a ninth grader coming, whoever Martin Ranch is about to play on Friday night. That's like some ninth grader on varsity putting down a good crossover move, because LJ Cry's not known for his defense. He's known for his offense. And hitting that jumper and going back down the court, yelling out to his homeboys, that's the football players in the student section, y'all better tell that MF about me. This is my house.
Jimmy.
Okay.
Jimmy.
And then pulls off the win.
Hey.
That's what that equivalent of.
Jimmy, all you're doing is helping my argument. That day, you and Herb Baker, all of y'all thought I was blasphemy for talking about how good this guy was. Just that I told you he built different, but y'all don't listen. Let me tell you something. I'm going to repeat it again because you didn't hear me. I said that young kid doing that, I'm going to show you the effect. He got guys like you who just 2 weeks ago brought up his stats and talking about what he didn't do. You didn't go through the last 5 games. You brought up 1 game. I said, Jimmy, I text you the next day. Jimmy, have you went and looked at that boy in the last 5 games? All I'm saying is, of course, thank you, James, for allowing Ja Morant to get through, because Jimmy just came out. He the best one, whatever you just said. He the best. So Ja Morant was talking to guys like you, too. Yeah, on the basketball court, I respected I didn't care who was playing. On a basketball court, I didn't care who I was playing against. I'm going to talk crazy to him. So with Herb Baker, so with every other hooper out there. There's no respecter of persons on the basketball court.
Pay close attention. Remember, there's smack talking. When there's smack talking, then there's disrespect for smack talking. And guess what? If you're going to be disrespectful in it, you better win. And you better win again. So understand, when he say when that young fella said that, that's coming from a different place.
Talk like that all the time. Go back and look at some of his games.
Okay,
it's on a stage. You know what, Jimmy? He did it to a player that you despise. So you trying to make a big deal of it. He did it to a player that you despise. So I understand your passion.
No. I don't despise. What I'm saying is you pay attention. Once again, watch the rest of the season. And until Ja Morant does something similar for us with his verbiage, not with a play, but if he's with his verbiage that's very similar to tell this much to Kawhi Leonard, to Paul George, to LeBron James, to understand, to Steph Curry when he comes back, even though he's going to be limping on one leg.
Do that to everybody. He did it to the best player. He did it to the best offensive force known to man. That's who he did it to, who also had 44, excuse me, who also had 44 on his little ass. So since you want, you know what?
We had 41.
41. God damn. Lord have mercy. 41, Jimmy. 41. Is that better? 41.
No, that's
you
true.
Sitting up here in your feeble attempt to discredit James Harden. It's a very feeble attempt.
How that discrediting James Harden?
That's what you're doing. Because if he don't do that to Kawhi Leonard, if he don't do that, that don't mean nothing. He did it for the best.
First, James Harden has not been anointed the king of the throne of the NBA, so he didn't disrespect the king of the throne. To you, you said the best offensive force. I'm saying that the disrespect.
Who's a better offensive player? Who's a better offensive player than James Harden? Who's a better? I just asked you a question.
James Harden right now is the best offensive player in the world.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
Now, what I'm saying is for this young man, I'm talking about what's happening from a rookie and what he says for a guy that's anointed as one of the greats in the game right now.
Jimmy,
so that's the angle that I'm coming from.
Jimmy, that's what makes him so good. That's why I was talking about him last week. You just not see. You
Okay.
you just worried about
Al,
what you saying.
tell me
I
this,
don't
tell me
talk
this, tell me
about Jimmy. I don't talk about players that much. That not great. If I anoint you, if I come on this show and talk about a player, you better be damn Skippy. I know what the hell I'm talking about. You looked at me like I was I'm gonna go pull up the show. You looked at me
Dude,
like,
Alan,
hold
back
on,
then,
hold
I
on. No,
just
no, this is
said
what you
at the
did.
end that I wasn't ready to anoint
No, no,
him
no,
as
no, no,
rookie
no.
of the
I
year
didn't
at
say
the time.
anoint him. You went and got on your computer. I saw you over there typing away. Well, he didn't have, but so and so amount of points last
Exactly.
game. Last game.
And that was
Y'all
justified.
notice what he did. He said last game. But guess what I did? I told him. I texted
It
Jimmy.
wasn't the last game. That was a series of games.
No. You
Alan,
said one game.
Alan, explain something. Listen, you're right about Ja Morant.
No,
Do you not understand that?
I know I'm
you
right.
were right about Ja Morant.
Jim,
But I'm talking
I
about
don't
something
want you to
different
use
right
that.
now.
You don't have to patronize me, okay?
So
You know how I know?
trying
You
to
know how I know I'm right about hold up. You know how I know? Why? No. You know how I know?
We're not talking
I got a
about
question.
that right now.
You know how I know? You talking about him this morning. I rest my case.
But I don't rest my case. What my case is, if Dwayne the Legend Rogers was at the Fundy Recreation Center when you came to Houston, and if you jumped on that court and said, you don't know who he was, man, and you hit a bucket on Dwayne back in 1990, not in 2019, on a guy that's 55 years old now. But if you went and hit a bucket on him in 1990, understand something?
Wow.
And you said to him, or in 1985,
wow,
or 87. And you said to him, you don't know who he is.
Jimmy, I
you
can't
say,
even believe
y'all
you
better
using that
tell.
analogy. I can't even believe you using that analogy. That's
you
not
just-
a great Jimmy.
in
That's some of
street
the best. Jimmy,
basketball,
that's not a
it's
great
basketball.
analogy, man. Well, go and finish. Go and
Wait a
finish
minute.
your.
You
Let's
just
go and
said
finish your.
you
You
just
go and
said
finish.
you rest your case.
Go and finish.
You just said rest your case.
Yeah,
if
go
you rest your case,
But
then
Jimmy,
I told you I hadn't rested my case yet. So I'm about to rest my case. I rested my case.
Well, I'll stop my ears up till you finish. Go and talk.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the viewers, the boom boom room. So that's what I'm talking to.
Watch what I do.
So
Let me know when you finish.
Take a
Now.
There you go. So now, guys, there's a guy from out of Houston named Dwayne Rogers. They call him the legend. He's the greatest street ball player in the history of this state. So when my point is, when you get a rookie, understand that can be a defining moment, but a rookie coming at gym, and this guy's the best at one of the things that what he does. And that rookie get on that court and talk smack against that rookie, but people are gonna say, whoa, what did he say? At that moment, that guy, Dwayne Rogers, gonna give him what he came for, or that rookie's gonna continue to win the game and make a defining moment and make an example or create the foundation to what can become a legacy in years to come. We don't know, time will tell. This is the angle that I was coming from about this young man. And that's why I compared it earlier to the crossover with MJ, with Allen Iverson back then. That was a defining moment at the time. I'm quite sure Zion Williamson will come into the league and he will have a defining moment where he will catch somebody at the rim and he will put them in the rim. That would be a defining moment. And every lot of players have that one moment. Vernon Maxwell was in a similar situation with the Houston Rockets when he had to defend, but it wasn't on the offensive end, he had to defend MJ. And it was smack talking of similar stature from Mad Max. And guess what? Mad Max, it was a defining moment for Vernon Maxwell for the Houston Rockets. Because Vernon Maxwell, even though he didn't shut Michael Jordan down, but it was kind of like that, but it defined him in the personality, and it went on, and he still has a great fondness nationwide of Mad Max. Patrick Beverly, had defining moments. He didn't stop Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook gave him 40 multiple times in the playoffs 3 years ago. But then he goes and he had defining moments when he goes and he gets when he got Russell Westbrook hurt. He gets in the playoffs, he goes at LeBron. Those are the moments that once you win, it defines what you are. So guess what? I'm just saying pay attention, because if Ja Morant does it to another superstar, then that means that's who he is. Anybody gonna get it. But if it's just singled out towards one guy, then that's something that you got inside you toward that guy. You had something going on before the game started. And speaking of Harden, understand, he had 41 points in the loss. He was 13 for 37 from the field. He missed 24 shots in this game. Mind you, PJ Tucker, 0 points last night for the Rockets. Once again, that bench, only one player off the bench had more than 4 points, and that was Eric Gordon. Yes, Russell Westbrook didn't play. Sure, this ain't the first time. And it's not the issue about that. It's just that this Rocket team, the initial question was, what does it take for them to get it together? We don't care about what the numbers. Of course, it's 41 for James Harden. He's leading the league in scoring right now, 38 points a game. But it's going to come down. And one of you guys mentioned earlier that the Rockets are trying to avoid the Lakers in the first round. That's the least thing on their mind right now, because the Lakers and the Clippers are going to, and are possibly going to be jousting for what position they're going to be in. So it's not like right now you're thinking about which one you can avoid, because you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to need to win. Home court advantage is very, very important. Very important. So that's the thing when we're on that. Now on that, I rest my case on that situation, which has went on extremely too long. Other news related to the NBA, guys. How about the Big Three? The Big Three, Ice Cube has went and applied his innovational skills, him and his crew, his staff, and they are implementing new rules for the Big Three this season. One, they're going to lower the age from 27 to 22. Also, they're going to use a red ball, which is known as a fireball. And they will hold open tryouts to welcome all athletes. Remember, before you had to get invited for tryouts. But the tryouts for all athletes will start in 2020 this season. The Big Three, which last year they had well, not last year, a couple years ago, they implemented the 4-point shot. They came out with that when they first started, and the 14-second shot clock. But the fireball is going to be, it's a in-game one-on-one possession with the winner, right, getting the decisive call. Let's say if it's a call went down and I called foul, and you said that ain't no foul, then you can kind of like throw your red flag in football, and you can get up to implement the one fireball session. This fireball session, me and you got to play one-on-one real quick to determine. That's how it was back in the days. Back in street ball, for those who played it, many of you guys who played ball on the slab. If you called a call and I disputed, know what they said? Shoot for it. Shoot for it. Then some guys said, man, I ain't shooting for nothing. Well, then that's how it got decided, out of the gentleman's aspect of the game. So they just added something else, and I think it's going to be really, really cool for the Big Three. But I don't know why they're going down to 22 years old. I would have tweaked that a little bit. I would have said each team gets one 22-year-old. That's what I would have done. Each team get one. That way it doesn't put, because eventually you're phasing out and putting the old guys at an extreme disadvantage. And some of the reasons that a lot of these guys that brought attention to the game was the funness from some of the fans for watching some of their heroes of yesterday, just to see if they still got it, just to sit there and laugh a little bit. But now you're putting the 30-year-olds against the 22-year-olds. I'm curious to see how this is going to happen. But it is 3-on-3. So we'll see how that goes because big 3-on-3 means less running around. And that's one of the things, of course, in news. How do you got any thoughts on this big three and their new implemented rules?
No, I mean, no, not really. I don't really watch it as much. I saw all of those guys play in their prime, and me, I'm just not a fan of seeing them again. So, so that's why I'm just not a fan of seeing them again. So that's why I don't, I don't pay that much attention. I like the concept. I like that Ice Cube is trying to innovate and everything about it, and he's the man in charge, and he's giving these older guys a chance. But it's just I watch enough basketball anyway. I'm watching a lot of basketball, so I just don't. Me and the big three, I've never been to a game, so but I hope y'all go. I just don't. See, I'm not a fan. I keep telling y'all I'm not a fan. I have to have a certain tie that gets me to come to a game. I have to, it's just the way it is. No, no harm, no foul. I just don't care too much for
And of course, also in news today, how about on the heels of the Nike trial, Michael Avenatti has been arrested in California. The lawyer, the famed lawyer that has been indicted on charges for extortion, trying to extort $25 million from Nike after this guy who went and leaked the news about a former grassroots director under the Nike's EYBL, leaked news about him and some of the players and made claims about different other players, just went out there and put business in the middle of the street. And mind you, everybody within Nike grassroots still has their jobs. Nobody has been fired. They in turn took one of the conversations from Avenatti and used it against him, called federal investigators who individually filed charges. Well, now he's been indicted on some other stuff that he had some pending cases that were unrelated to this Nike case, and which as the judge imposed pre-trial restrictions on him. It has been accused that he's violated one or more of those restrictions that were placed. It could have been travel restrictions. It could have been stuff that I don't know exactly what it was, but I'm just giving you some of the things that it could have been. And remember now, he's an attorney, and he was facing a disciplinary hearing in front of the State Bar of California in LA. Took him into custody. So now that trial from Nike is scheduled to, the next court date is scheduled for later this month. Now remember, Nike is not on trial. Avenatti is on trial. So, and it's a different, trust me guys, from a guy who's been on trial before. It's a big difference when you walk in the courtroom with street clothes on from the front door, that means, or if you walk in the courtroom from that side door. Now you can have on street clothes coming from that side door, but people that's in the jury, they know if your buddy's in custody. They can tell. It's just common sense. If you're walking out during recess and you're walking through the front, that means you're free. If you're coming from that back door and the bailiff got to stand by you, you're in custody. It's a big difference when you go to trial, when you're fighting that trial from off the front door, from out the side door. That's what I'm saying. Avenatti.
And what's unique about the trial, what I don't like, is how the public portrays it. The headline is saying Michael Avenatti facing Nike trial, arrested in the trial. I mean, that's just not. And in this same thing, I guess that's news, because I got some news about Nike. The Nike Foundation has gifted $5 million to the Obama Foundation for an athletic and recreational facility that will be located on the campus of the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. I don't know if y'all might not be familiar. As soon as the president is out of office, they build his presidential library. Barack chose Chicago, his hometown, and this is going to be the first of its kind because no other president thought about doing stuff like this. And Nike donate. And guess what? The Obama Foundation didn't disclose this information. Didn't disclose this information, Jimmy, because they don't disclose who their donors are. The donors are they'll just they'll tell you who the donor's name is, but they don't disclose the amount. The reason we know saw the amount because of Nike's donors. Nike got, I guess this the part of the year where they show who their donors are. So Nike had to publish. They gave $5 million to the Obama.
So that comes in your annual or quarterly report, or in that's so all stockholders are privy to that, not just the board members, but anybody who's a shareholder. You can go on the New York Stock Exchange and look up the ticker symbol for Nike and buy your 100 shares, and you too would get a proxy a report every quarter on that.
You know what's so unique, Jimmy? I'm gonna pivot just a minute. I saw two things last night that I wanted to share with you. I know we got a guest coming up a little bit later, but we can get it in there because we can go in and out with this. But Jimmy, I saw two unique things last night. First of all, I saw where the college basketball, the transfer portal, they got a rankings for the transfers. Hold on, y'all. I rank you in high school. I rank you before. Now they got a rank. Listen, y'all. Listen. College basketball, and I want to hear y'all thoughts. They got a rankings list, Jimmy. It was so long, I didn't want to print it out. I just got the website, Jimmy. They got a transfer ranking. And Jimmy, I got something else. Hold on, I got something else that I ain't never seen. Maybe y'all have. I saw a football player. I ain't gonna call his name. But this is a new one. You know how y'all have announcers, I'm blessed to do this, I'm blessed, one of the blessed ones, right? Jimmy, get what he said. Y'all waiting on this? Blessed to receive a PWO offer from the Houston Cougars. Preferred walk-on offer. Jimmy, when did that start happening?
You serious? A kid actually said he's blessed to receive a preferred
in the phone. I wish I could put it close. Jimmy, blessed to receive. Oh no, I'm gonna put it up. Keep talking, Jimmy. I'm putting this up on the screen.
I thought we had the technology where we can put that up there. I thought we.
But I don't want to go. I'm gonna put it up on. Don't worry about it. It's gonna be up in there in 2 seconds. Jimmy, I never heard of that one, Jim.
I mean, I just learned sometimes you gotta let people be great in their moment. I mean, if that's, you gotta realize, obviously, that from a psychological angle, being able to put a tweet out, the blessed to receive blank, 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 that had to have been on his short-term bucket list of things, of goals, of objectives as a result of basketball. So he is getting it out of his system, whoever the young man is, and putting it out there, blessed to receive this offer. I mean, speaking of offer, you say University of Houston, and speaking of University of Houston, they are in action tonight, hosting SMU. Well, what does that mean? Oh, I tell you what it means. It means that it's SMU versus Houston for many people, many fans. But for a lot of people within the city limits of Houston, this is Quentin Grimes versus Kendrick Davis. That's what this is. Quentin Grimes, former McDonald All-American, played at College Park High School, was ranked #1 player in the city, was in the top 25 in the country, versus Kendrick Davis, who in Quentin Grimes' College Park High School is located in the deep suburbs outside of Houston, known as the Woodlands. The Woodlands is one of the most admired communities outside of this in the greater Houston area, right? Kendrick Davis comes from the shadows of Fifth Ward, urban kid. So normally that had a high degree of street cred, had a high degree of support from the community that he lived in, and wasn't as tall, wasn't as recruitable physically. They both went to the NBPA Top 100 camp. So they both played on the sneaker circuits for Adidas. And however, when you get a suburban versus urban scenario, they became they personified that battle. They went head to head one time that I can think of as 12th graders. And Kendrick Davis, his Sam Houston High School team won the game. Kendrick scored 29. Quentin Grimes scored 31 in defeat. Both put on a good show, great show. However, that was before Quentin Grimes was named to the McDonald's King. That was before he had been thrust, So this game is their first matchup as college players. Both have transferred. How about that? They both went to Power 5 schools in the Big 12. Quentin Davis. So this is not their first time. That's right. They played last year, Hal. Mm-hmm. Quentin Davis played at TCU. Quentin Grimes played at Kansas. So now they meet again in the American Conference. Who you rocking with, guys? Boom, boom, boom. We got our guests coming to join us in a second. I look at some of your comments. I see Nicole. She's out there saying, yes, it's going down. And I'm telling you, Quentin Grimes has been in the funk. While Kendrick Davis he's been a different type of funk. He's been bringing the funk. In Quentin Grimes' last 3 games, he scored 4 points, 5 points, 10 points. Not in that order. That's his last 3 games. In today's Houston Chronicle, Alec, guess what? They have a front page story in the sports page that the head coach, Kevin Sampson, has warned the press and his team of some potential starting lineup changes. In today's paper, could he implement that change tonight? Either way, it's going down, and you can best believe. I just hope I got advice for Kendrick Davis. Don't come into this game too hyped. I remember the same thing happened when Lanny Smith was with U of H, and he played LSU and TAC Minor. And LSU was a nationally ranked team. U of H wasn't. But Lanny Smith had something on his mind for TAC Minor. And Lanny Smith beat TAC Minor's ass on that court. U of H beat LSU too. And he got his justification from that. That doesn't mean that, it only means so much, but within, people will be watching. I will be watching this game. And I'm going to try to get close enough down into the court where I can hear some of the good smack talking. Because I know one of the young men who's going to talk a little smack in this game for sure. But anyway, we're still waiting on our guests to join us, guys. Coming up shortly, we want to be joined by Cheryl Carr. And Cheryl Carr is, and rightfully so, on Women Rock Wednesday. She is one of the most important females in the entertainment business. And so she's going to share 10 dirty little secrets. And I'm going to let her break out this. Just stay tuned. I'm telling you, you might want to share the show right now. And then she's going to share 10 dirty little secrets for you guys to really chew on about in the entertainment.
Keep going, business. Jimmy. I'm trying to show her. You keep going. Give me a second. I'm going to show her how to get on the line.
And meanwhile, so once again, I was telling you guys about that game tonight. Just be advised and keep your eyes open on that showdown, Quentin Grimes and Kendrick Davis. Let's go to some of the boom boom rooms, some of your comments, man. And I'm looking at Todd Holmes, and he has a question for you, Herb. And I see you guys, some of your comments. I'm trying to get in where I fit in and see. He asking about the preferred walk-on. Does that mean that they were out of scholarships, but if you work out, we got you next year? And of course, Herb has applied his answer to that. It could mean the kid has been accepted academically and has received some scholarship money. As a result, the coach will provide an opportunity to earn a scholarship in the future. That's pretty much close to the mark, about right at the bullseye. What does that mean? Most walk-ons is going to, remember, they count towards the team's API. And did I say it right, or is APR? I got them confused right now. My mind flipped off. But that's not uncommon. And the thing about walk-ons, certain programs will carefully pick the walk-on. The perfect walk-on is the kid who really has a chance. You got 4 of them on the average on the team, 4 walk-ons. So on 4 walk-ons, one of those walk-ons is going to have a shot. But we'll talk walk-ons later on. We got right now. Well,
Jimmy, usually I let you usually bring the guest on, because I've been knowing this guest for a million years. And I just want y'all to meet Cheryl Cobb, the woman behind some of music's biggest and most talked about artists. Learn what she'll teach you about the craft of breaking into the entertainment business. You will learn, like Jimmy said, 10 steps that will appear to be simple, but when applied, they will change your life. Each step uniquely qualifies why she's urging you to consider this method. If you're considering or elevating your career in the entertainment industry. So without further ado, take a great friend of mine, Cheryl Cobb, Jimmy Noah. What's going on, Cheryl? Talk to me. Welcome to your first time to the Chop Shop on Women Rock Wednesday. What's going on?
Thank you, guys. Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Robert. Thanks for having me.
What's going on, lady? How you doing?
I'm so excited. I'm really excited to be on your show. I've been watching you guys for over a year, and so I finally have the opportunity to get on Wednesday. So let's rock. What are you guys talking about? What do you want to know about 10 Dirty Little Secrets?
Well, first of all, let's let the viewers know some of the artists that you have and currently work with in the entertainment industry, so they can get a chance. We got to validate you first. You just can't walk on the Chop Shop and just get to going on. We got to make sure you who we say you are.
Well, you know what? I could do my own part, but I think Robert would be better because he's been along that journey on many of those trials and errors, and that's the reason why I wrote this book. But I can name a few. But Robert, you probably be better off because I hate to.
Well, I'll talk about it. We'll let you talk about it. I'll throw my little story in there soon. Come
on. So I started in the business a long time ago. I used to be an agent at William Morris, and I was an assistant over there in the literary department. And I got sick of being behind the desk and thought, I could use my talents elsewhere. So I'll go into the details a little bit later, but my first job was with Luther Vandross. I went on the road with him as a hospitality director, and I used to be the person backstage that gave all the passes, did all the backstage curtains and food and all the hospitality things. So I left Luther for about a month or so, and he asked me to come back and be a tour manager. So I traveled the world with him for a year. We did Europe. We played every stadium there is in Europe. Left him, went over to work with Toni Braxton, worked as her assistant for a week. She fired me. I quit. I can't, and she called me, literally, and called me back about a week later and was like, you know what? I have a tour that's going to Europe, and I think you'll be a great tour manager. Went over there, was a tour manager for Toni Braxton for a very long time, and then left Toni, and then eventually became her manager, her day-to-day manager. I worked with Toni for about 6 years. I was a maid of honor at her wedding. We were good friends. and I left our company to run a record label on Universal called Rockland Records. Under the Universal label, under R. Kelly's label, we produced Sparkle. We got our first Grammy in 6 weeks, and we went platinum in 6 weeks. So I worked with everybody. I signed artists on Rockland Records. You know, and I sold a lot of songs. We produced a lot of shows. Left there, and I managed R. Kelly. I managed him for several years. I left him during the trial. I had a baby. I took a year off, and then I went to American Idol.
That's right.
And then I was over at American Idol for about 6 years, where I managed in tandem with a team of other managers. I was a senior manager who probably was some of the most experienced at the company in management. And I managed Fantasia personally. I worked with Ruben Studdard, but I also worked on a team with Carrie Underwood, Chris Daughtry, Parks, a plethora of other American Idol winners. I went on to take Fantasia to Broadway, where she did The Color Purple. We did The Color Purple. We came off. We toured the world. And I left American Idol and went into management. And I started managing my good friend, Shantae Moore. So we kind of resurrected Shantae's career. Shantae and I traveled the world together. It was a great time. And Robert, he spent a lot of time with us on a lot of those road trips. But we did a lot of things. You know, we did TV shows. We did R&B Divas. Not the best experience, but it was an experience nonetheless. And I learned a lot from that. And we both learned a lot. Would I do it again? I would, but under different circumstances. So we did some TV stuff. And I started working with Shantae for about a year ago. And I went to a streaming network called OK TV, where I'm an executive producer over there. And I produced 2 TV shows with OK TV. It's a streaming network. And now I'm doing streaming, and I'm working with a race car driver. His name is Al Boogie, one of the fastest race car drivers, drag races in the world. And I'm just doing all kind of other things. I did some consulting work for Will Downing. Matter of fact, he's shooting a video. His new record is out. He's shooting a video today, and I'm taking a break while they're shooting. And he has a new record that's out right now. The video's coming out in a couple of weeks, but his album is amazing, so go out and get that. I'm excited. I'm just excited. New things are happening. I'm working on another project in Africa. So I like streaming and moving more towards television. But over the years in my journey, I've just learned so much. I've worked with so many people, some good, some bad. And I'm just here to talk about my story and my experiences from my point of view. My book says 10 dirty little secrets, but they're dirty because it's entertainment, but it's not about anybody. It's not a negative book. It has nothing bad about anybody. Some of the circumstances that I was in were not the best. And I'll talk about those too. I'm not ashamed of it. I learned from it, but it's nothing bad about anybody else. But I'll tell you what, reading this book will tell you about those 10 dirty secrets that everybody who wants to be in the industry. Some people are new. Some people who have been in the industry and then, you know, they are not working anymore and they want to get back in the game because the game has changed. So these 10 dirty little secrets are things that you really, really need to know. And I can tell you right now, and I'll let you guys ask me questions and let me know if I'm talking too much. But my first chapter of the book is you're going to get fired.
Is what?
You're going
to
get fired.
And Cheryl, that was my next question. But Jimmy messed around and asked you who, see, because he didn't know all of that. I don't go about bragging, man, about I know this lady that does this. And but that's the first question that I was going to ask you. But I got to tell the story when I first met Cheryl. It was she was representing, I think it was R. Kelly. R. Kelly probably then, yeah. And
yeah.
And we were at an All-Star game, and Jimmy, I got to tell this story because I was with Charles Woodson, like Ty Law, my Anthony Dorsett, my clients. They were football guys. So we were headed to the NBA Players Association party, but Penny didn't wait on us. Penny went ahead. So that was our juice, my juice to get in the party because I had Penny, right? Not the football players don't have no clout at the NBA All-Star game. So guess what? So Cheryl was in the car with us, right? So we get up there. The place was crowded. Couldn't nobody get in. I did not know she had this much juice. She got on her phone, Jimmy, I don't know who she called. I think it's Jeff Sharp or whoever. Jimmy. They came out, got us in. Jimmy. All that line didn't matter. My partners looked at me, my clients looked at me and said, "Man, who is that? Who is this girl just got us in there?" So that, and Jimmy, so this the crazy thing. That was on a Friday I met Cheryl. But on a Thursday, they introduced me to Shantae Moore on a Thursday. So these two best friends I met in consecutive night, and Shantae wound up performing at the event we went to. So it was a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. But let's get back to this book, sure. And hold up, Jim, I can proudly say I'm one of the few individuals that had an invitation to Toni Braxton's wedding. I was there. I got the receipts. I'm going to post it one day. Huh? I got the receipts.
Cheryl, was you there?
Cheryl was the maid of honor.
He was great.
That's how I got in.
You was the plus one.
Yeah, I was
You
a plus. I was a,
Hey.
you know what? The maid of honor can't have no plus one. I don't know what. Jimmy, hey, y'all, I got to tell y'all this story. I ain't never been to nothing like this in my life. Listen, you had to drive to a church, right? Jimmy, you pull up to the church. They give you a card, a player card, a Tiffany, with a Tiff. I think I still got that card. You know, Tiffany, the jeweler.
Yeah.
You get one of those cards, and when you go to the church parking lot, they got shuttles. You have to get on a shuttle. They was trying to keep people from following you and trying to find out where the wedding is. So you get on the shuttle, and the shuttle take you to the wedding. It was the most amazing thing that I ever been a part of. And the next morning, guess what we did? Had breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yes, we
Let me
did.
repeat that.
It was crazy.
The next morning at Phipps Plaza in Atlanta, Georgia, Toni Braxton had breakfast at Tiffany's. Go look up the movie if you don't understand it. But Cheryl, back to Dirty Little Secrets.
Yeah, and where we have in the Boom Boom Room, you guys you make sure if you have questions for Cheryl Carr,
Okay.
then post your questions right there. I see a couple of you guys have done so already, and I will get to some of the questions. We hope to get to all of them during the course of this conversation. So first, we'll go with Yolanda asks, what made you write this book? And tell them again what's the name of the book and how can they obtain it?
So experience. It really experience. And, I've worked with so many people. All of my clients have won Grammys. Every last one of my clients. And I'm honored to have been a part of their experience. And that was their experience. But I wanted to talk about my experience in a positive light to teach other people, other artists, other people that are thinking about going into entertainment. It doesn't have to be music. It could be any type of entertainment because, the entertainment, the business of it is still the same. You got to have a contract. You got to have a team. You got to have the right people around you. It talks about everything that you need in the book. I'm going to let you guys ask me the questions about the different chapters. But that's what made me write the book. I took some time off. I took about a year off and did some introspective work. And each story in this book, each chapter is a part of my life. So I tell a few dirty little secrets about my life.
Oh, so you're giving up the game on your about yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna write a book. You can't tell on other people. You gotta tell about your experiences. I've had some good ones. I've had some bad ones. I'm sharing those all from my point of view, all my stories. Some of them are embarrassing, but I'm okay. I live with them. I learn from them. And I want to teach other people how to avoid some of the pitfalls that I went through. I went to the school of hard knocks, so you don't have to.
And with that being said, dirty little secret number 1. Let's get right into that. And you touched on it earlier, and tell us about dirty little secret number 1.
See, you're gonna get fired. And you guys have been fired. You've had clients in sports.
Yep.
You've had good grief. Guys, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm shooting a video.
That's R. Kelly calling from jail. Don't take that.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
He want his retainer back.
Hey, Messy Marvin, quit.
God bless his soul.
He said, God bless his soul.
Yeah. I mean that with everything in my heart. God bless his soul. Okay. But no, really, you're gonna get fired. Whether you work at Walmart or McDonald's, everybody gets fired one day, and guess what? It's really not about being fired. This is what you know. If you're gonna get in this industry, it's not for the faint of heart. You're gonna have some thick skin. It's about the recovery from being fired because it'll attack you. It'll attack your integrity, your self confidence. You get mad at the person, and you're like kind of misdirect that energy sometimes. Where you're like, I can't stand you. I can't believe you fired me. I don't know why you did. There doesn't have to be a reason why. It's just so. And it doesn't have anything, it may not have anything to do with you, or even if it doesn't have anything to do with what you know. So, what I've learned after going through the stages of recovery, really being hit like a gut punch and feeling like I got to question myself. I got to question my relationship. Who do I trust? I thought this was my friend. I thought that we were doing a great job. And then I got angry. And then I got like really pissed off at the person. And then I had to get to a place of acceptance. And when you accept this one thing, and this is what I want to tell you guys, nobody can take away what I know. My experiences are mine and mine alone. You or nobody else can take away that. So once I realized I know what I know, nobody can take away this because I did this. You know what? This situation didn't work out. It wasn't the best situation. Something else will happen. And as soon as I got into an acceptance space, I started to soar and doors and opportunities started opening up again. So in this particular chapter, I'm just teaching you it's going to happen. No matter what you do, you're going to get fired. You're going to lose an agent. You're going to lose a manager. You're going to lose an accountant, an attorney. Something's going to happen. They're going to fire you and you're going to feel bad. But know that it's not over, that if you believe in yourself and you know what you know, you need to push forward, forgive people because it has nothing to do with your future. Your portion is yours. Mine is mine. So guess what? You're getting fired. I got fired. Next. Another opportunity, another door will open. But it won't open really until you're able to accept it and to move on and know that nobody can take away what you know. And I said earlier, Toni Braxton fired me. She hired me back. This was a good situation because I did get fired. I've been in a situation where I've gotten fired and I didn't get rehired. But it's okay because guess what? I knew what it was. I knew it was coming. I knew how to process it. And I was able to let it go and move on. God bless you too. And then let's go. Let's go to the next thing. And so that's a small part of it. And I got some great little secrets in there about things that people are curious about in some of those situations. How did it happen? Because, you know, media would tell you anything. Right. It's not always true. So I have some inside scoops, positive, once again, that will help you apply that first little secret. You're going to get fired. And it does hurt, but you can recover.
I got something else for you, Cheryl. The second dirty little secret. They're not your friends?
They are not your friends.
Right.
Barbara Hatter, I love you and you're my friend, but when we do business, you are not my friend.
That's right.
So
right.
basically, you know, this is the line I got from you. Don't get your feelings and your facts mixed up.
Yeah.
Like that?
Don't be using my stuff. You better give me some credit.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do like Jimmy. Jimmy used my stuff and don't tell nobody. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely true. I gave you a credit in the end. How about that?
Okay.
But really, and I mean in the literal sense,
right.
that you could be doing business with someone that you just met or you've known for years. Friendship is earned and not a given. You just don't walk into somebody's life and think, oh, we're friends. I'm going to do this work and you love me and everything's great. Because you're going to get fired and then you're going to think, I thought you were my friend. But doing business with anybody, you have to have paperwork. You got to have contracts. You got to have agreements. You have to know where you're starting and when it ends, what happens, and it's going to be in the paperwork. So when a friend fires you, you accept it. But guess what? We're going to go back to that paperwork and we're going to do what that paperwork said. And this is what we agreed upon because people have a tendency to have amnesia, but it's selective. So instead of having amnesia, let's have a contract. Let's have an agreement, not a handshake. Let's have an agreement. Let's sign it. So when things go left, we're able to continue as friends or not. But I'll be clear because I know that I have paperwork. And so I say they're not your friends when you're doing business with them. It's business first, friendship later.
Hey, y'all, I'm going to give you one for Ricky Scott. Ricky Scott said, where is the book available?
Oh, you right now, because you got guys are on Facebook Live, right?
Yes.
So you can go to 10 Dirty Little Secrets and you can click on the link there. Also, my page, Cheryl Cobb DeBrose, you can go on my page, Cheryl Cobb DeBrose, and you can click on there. You can buy the book. But 10 Dirty Little Secrets has its own page.
Hey, Jimmy, I know Yolanda says she likes Cheryl, right? Jimmy, I know when you met Cheryl, I know you think she nice, right? Jimmy, I've seen her in situations.
She got some horns.
Oh, in that industry, man, she had a dude. I felt sorry for the dude. I went and found the dude and said, "Man, do you all right?" I mean, she
It's
chopped.
true.
Oh, but she did it in such a. I mean, Jimmy, she just busted him upside the head, and he didn't realize he was walked off in a daze. You know, like, well, she was right. He came charging her up. She said, some. And then she said, and I think she mentioned something about the paperwork, the disket, well, then it's not valid. Oh, something she did to him. He just walked off like, oh, okay, all right.
Robert,
Huh?
if you get your receipt,
Get your receipt. Okay. Jimmy,
so
you
you
got
know,
the next dirty secret, Jimmy.
don't fool you because I am nice
Uh-huh.
and I am you, but I'm also professional. When it's no, it's just no. Respectfully.
That was
It's,
hard. Jimmy, what you got?
but there's a reason, there's a way to talk to people. So you don't have to yell and you don't have to scream. It's just, you know what, I got received and I think this is just not a good decision, so we're gonna say no. And that's that. And people, you can bark all you want, but when the agreement just doesn't work out, it just doesn't work out. And then I can still smile and still walk away and we can be friends. Or not.
Jimmy, she mean. She mean. Go. What's the
All
next one,
right.
Jimmy? Jimmy, what's the next one?
And as our guy Clarence Harris says,
But you know what people say when a man is aggressive. Oh, he's so aggressive. And when a woman is aggressive, you know what they call her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't talk like that on the Chop Shop. So, Jimmy,
It's
what the.
not. Women can be bosses too,
Okay.
but do it with a little more finesse.
Okay.
so are you? Before we get into the next dirty little secret number 3, so how would you are you comparable to the television character that was on BET named Tasha Mack?
Nah.
That was a sports.
No,
That was what
she
show was
ain't,
that?
she ain't like her. Tasha Mack had her son. No, that she was like. You
Well,
know
she had
who
some
you like
horns
to
a little
me?
bit.
No. Olivia Pope.
No way.
That's who she would. Dude, it's a lot of stuff that didn't make it to the airways because of that woman right there, sir.
Hold on. One question is find out how close this accusation is.
Uh-huh.
Cheryl, you drink red wine?
What did you say?
Do you drink red wine?
I do drink red wine, but I like champagne.
I'm just saying Olivia Pope always drunk. They always made sure her character.
It's healthy too.
But we get Cheryl has a book coming out, guys, Dirty Little Secrets, and these are talking points who can help you or anybody that you know who may be intrigued or entering into the entertainment business.
Right.
So these are dirty little secrets that can help someone, not just the entertainment business, in the workforce itself.
Yes.
You can go and you can go and just shape these things and morph them.
You can apply that in my
That's
business, Jimmy. You can apply it in your business.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking at a couple of them, and this one right here, I love this. I love this number 3.
Okay.
The number 3, and it's about loyalty goes both ways. And
like
in that, you says, just be loyal until they are not. Tell us about this dirty little secret, loyalty.
That is really real talk. See, it's really. I'm going to combine 2 chapters because you need a good team. I went to a breakfast meeting with Oprah Winfrey and Gail some years back, and when I went in, I was just completely just like in awe of her. I love Oprah Winfrey, and we were sitting down talking, and this is the one thing she said. This is the one I was a part of this conversation for about 10 minutes, and she said, "I teach people how to be legends," and she said, "There's not enough space in the sky for a bunch of legends. But I believe you can live a legendary life. So then let me give you a few steps. And this is where she and I sat at the edge of my seat. I was like, oh my God, I just need this information. And she said, you must be loyal to your team. The people that fight for you every day, that don't sleep at night, that get up in the middle of the night and take care of your business, that defend you, that get your paperwork, get opportunities, book your flight from your assistant, your manager, to your business manager, to your agent. These are the people that are fighting for you 24 hours a day. So you have to find a team that you trust, and you have to trust that they can do the job. So, but at the same time, now let me just tell you a little story. When I say it goes both ways, when people work really hard and you have a client that does absolutely everything opposite of what you're instructing them to do, because the thing about management is you're nobody's boss. Management is a person who advises and consults. If you don't take my advice or my consultation, then my job is no longer needed. We're all free moral agents. We choose how we like. We make choices. So with that being said, when you make a bad choice, it affects the team. So if you affect the team and you end up in trouble, we're in trouble too. Loyalty goes both ways. I work for you, you work for me. It's like a marriage. I want you, you want me. And when one of us don't want each other, it's not going to work out anymore. So whatever you do in public is going to represent your team. And that's what I mean when I say loyalty goes both ways. We work hard for you. When you work hard for your client, you want your client to be trusting of you and conduct themselves in a way that's going to be respectful and honorable to their team.
And of course, these are dirty little secrets that are talking points, and well, these are things that can help all of us get better in our day-to-day business endeavors.
Right.
This is Cheryl Cobb. She's an entertainment guru who's if you missed just tuning into the Chop Shop, she's been an integral part of the careers of everybody from Luther Vandross to Tony Braxton to R. Kelly, Fantasia, Ruben Studdard, Will Downing, Shantae Moore, and worked on American Idol as well. You see, I'm freestyling all off the top of the head. But anyway, and also she has a book coming out, and which is rightfully so at this point in her life, has a book to help. This book is coming from her personal experiences. This is not one of those tell-alls. So I know the dirty little secrets is going to make you think, waiting on some stuff. She's not coming on today to tell you guys about R. Kelly.
Right.
You see, this is not that type of book. Now,
She called him Robert. She called him Robert.
What she call you?
Robert.
Ah.
No, Mr. Robert. You understand me?
Yeah. Step in that name a little if you want to. And of course, now, dirty little secret number 4.
I got the next one. I got the next
Okay.
dirty little secret. Cheryl, the next dirty little secret. I saw this because this is so, it's so unique. You know, I was reading over the notes before the show. You know, it seemed like, I know we've been knowing each other for so long, and you've been listening to Mr. Robert. You've been listening to Robert a little bit. And your next one is follow up, and follow up. That's a heck of a topic right there, Jimmy.
That's a heavy topic. Let me tell you why. This is to the assistant, secretary, the administrative director, for real. Because if you don't, you're going to end up in trouble. People have selective amnesia. So I'm going to make this real quick and short. You make a decision about, you have a conversation. We'll have a conversation right now. And then we make commitment. I committed to be on the show. Robert followed up. Are you ready? Will you have your camera ready? Will you have your phone on do not disturb, which I messed up on that, Robert? Okay. The bigger point, but here's the bigger point. The bigger is that you have your conversation, and when you turn around like a week later, people have a tendency to forget. So basically, management in any field is really, it's not, it's really about following up on information and making phone calls and connecting people and following up to make sure that the job gets done. That's it. Don't send me any flowers if you mess up. Follow up. So we're confirmed. It's funny. I had a friend that moved out here from Washington, D.C., and they had a meeting one day. This has nothing to do with entertainment. They had a meeting today, and they had just gotten here from Washington, D.C. And he said, I have a meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I said, oh, okay. When did you make this meeting? He said, last week. It's tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. I said, oh, did you call them and follow up? He said, well, why should I do that? We made a commitment. I said, this is Hollywood. You better follow up on that phone call. If they said 10 o'clock a week ago, something may have happened because most people don't follow up. So he waits till the next morning before this meeting. And I said, hey, I'm warning you. Went ahead and made a phone call. Hey, I'm on my way. I'm dressed. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. They said, you know what? We forgot to call you and let you know we need to reschedule. Mm. And he was like blown, like I can't believe it. So that's just a small example. I'll give you a little story out of my book if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, no, this is a true story. Let me see. I'm going to change the name to protect the innocent.
Yeah.
But I was in a business meeting with a bunch of executives, and they all said, we want to get this celebrity to be on our show. So I said, oh, okay. And they were like, we can get the celebrity. And one of the gentlemen in the meeting said, I can get her. Let me get her on the telephone. She's there. So I thought, oh, okay. So I went to the head of this production company and I said, and I'll tell you who it was. It was Oprah Winfrey. And I said, oh, we can get Oprah Winfrey on the show. I just got out of the meeting with these high-powered players and they're going to get Oprah Winfrey on the show. They went on air. They made announcements because they trusted everything that I said. And I trusted everything this gentleman said because he was such a high-powered player in the industry. So we made announcements. We had the whole team ready. And the morning before, I decided to follow up with her people. And they said, oh, we didn't hear back from you guys. So it was never confirmed and she can't make it. And so I was like, oh my God. So my agent, the attorney, the head of the company turned around and guess what? This is one of the worst days. He said, sure, this is not your brightest hour. This is not, and I was so embarrassed. But basically, I could have lost my job behind something like that. And a lot of money was at stake. So had I just picked up the phone, written an email, had my assistant follow up. And then you copy somebody on it because you need receipts. Just in case things don't go through and just to make sure that whatever you say is going to happen is going to happen. So I'm just an advocate, a strong proponent of following up to the follow-up and copy somebody too.
And of course, they're saying that.
This book. Cheryl, Jimmy gonna get the first copy.
Oh, he needs to get a copy. You do too, Robert Hatter.
I got you.
Absolutely. And how can the viewers out there obtain a copy? And when is the book released?
The book is we are in pre-sales right now. Right now, you're on Facebook Live, so just go to 10 Dirty Little Secrets, and you can push a button and you can buy the book now. The book is released in 30 more days. Right now, we're doing all the promotional and the marketing of the book, and just kind of letting people know that the book is out there. I'm going to be putting out commercials. I'm doing shows like this, just telling everybody about the book. See, the thing about the book is there's people that's been in the industry for a long time, and it's helpful to them as well because you may have had success at one time, and then it's fleeting like everything else. You get a little bit older, and the game has changed. So you really need to be reminded about who you are and what's out there now. Because the game, we used to make records. We used to do artist development. You had to go speak right. You had to go and have a person who come to teach you how to do interviews. It doesn't work like that anymore. I had a good friend tell me he went to BET to do an interview one day, and he was all excited. New record coming out. It hadn't been out for a long time. He went to BET. He did an interview in front of a ring light and an iPhone. And he said, well, where's the makeup and hair? They said, oh, I'll fix it in post. Thank you and goodbye. And the interview goes, so it's just not the same.
Wow.
People are not buying it anymore. They're streaming. You need to understand what streaming is and what it means. You need to understand about touring. I talk about all those things in 10 Dirty Little Secrets. So it's an exciting book, teaching book. And then I'm going to be coaching as well. So as this book is being marketed, once the book launches, you'll be able to reach me, and I'll do small coaching groups as well.
And of course, this is Cheryl Cobb has joined us, and she's an entertainment guru and been around the game. She's an OG, that is, especially in with a lot of the singers and artists abroad. Now we'll go to the Boom Boom Room real quick, and we'll present a couple of questions to you, Cheryl, from a lot of our viewers. And the first question is really simple: is where's your hometown?
I live in Los Angeles, part of Hollywood.
No, I'm saying that's where you went to school. Where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from LA.
Okay.
My parents, my family is here. I've lived in other places. I lived in Detroit. I lived in Arizona for a little while, but Los Angeles is my home.
Okay. And next question up is what your educational background, and are you affiliated with the Greek life?
I'm gonna answer that first. No, I'm not affiliated with the Greek life. However, and my education is a journey. I am affiliated with an alumni association. It's called Up With People. Up With People is an international organization that builds bridges of understanding around the world. When I was 16, I graduated from high school, and I went to the University of Arizona, and they had a program through the University of Arizona called Up With People. I went there just completely very naive about what the whole organization was about, but it was an organization that changed my life. So it's like a foreign exchange student, but we had a show because I used to be a dancer back in my other life. But there was a show, dancing, singing, and we had a international show that we took all over the world, to China. We went to the People's Republic of China, Argentina, Spain. I lived with host families. I lived in Mexico. I went to the University of Guadalajara for a while. I studied there. So I had a cultural experience through my educational experience. I came back and went to a junior college. I transferred to UCLA, left UCLA and moved to Japan for 2 years. And then I worked with an English organization in Japan. So my education is global. I didn't have time to join a sorority because I was in entertainment, and and I'd been with other people. I'm still, and they're probably watching right now. You'll see them hit like, you'll start following the show. It's a wonderful organization for any student that wants to see the world, learn more about immersion experience, cultural experience, learning different languages, foods, cultures, and really what this world is about. Because really, we as a people, we need to start thinking globally. And it's a global organization. I did my education through there, through UCLA, as well as living abroad in host families. I did independent studies through school as well. And I lived in Argentina. So I traveled the world. I've been educated also through the School of Hard Knocks in education and entertainment. And nobody taught me how to be an entertainer. I just knew that it was something that I wanted to do. And it's been its own entertainment within itself.
And now, of course, another question from the Boom Boom Room, and I feel remiss if I did not present this question to you. I'm gonna take the question and add some seasoning to it. And the first part of the question is, when you worked with Luther Vandross, was it Big Luther or Little Luther?
Okay,
it was both.
Both.
It started out as
made Luther lose weight?
Yes, it started out as Big Luther, and then he became Little Luther. I'll tell you something really sad. I used to be when I first started with him, I used to be his hospitality director. And I used to have to do his dressing room and anything that came in there, including food. And he was big when I started working for him. And then when he decided he was going to make a change in his life, this was his menu. He was like, okay, Cheryl, this is what I need. Now I would get the caterers to bring this in. He would get a whole chicken and put olive oil on it and take a ton of garlic and broccoli and stuff it up inside the chicken and lemon. And he would put it in a broiler, and that's what he ate every day. And he would in sugar-free popsicles every day. That was his meal every day. And like within 3 months, he was down about 100 pounds.
Dang. Jimmy,
Oh,
Big,
so
small, and
what we need to
big.
do?
You need to get a chicken and put some broccoli in it.
uh, we gonna hey, when we gonna get her to make one of those chickens. We can see how that goes and see if it work for us now on this night. But now the second part of that question is,
You got your protein, you have your vegetables, and you don't have any carbs.
Mm, okay.
how about this question right here? Luther Vandross, and you also work with Ruben Studdard.
Mm.
Which one of them could eat the most between the two?
Oh, you wrong for that. You wrong for that. Let me tell you,
Bless Luther. Oh,
I love Ruben with all my heart. That is my brother. I love him, and he's worked really hard on, and it's not easy for some people. Sometimes there's some people, their metabolisms are different. You just, you do the best that you can. But I'm gonna say Luther to answer that question.
Okay.
oh, so Big Rube ain't exactly Big Rube no more.
Okay.
And of course,
Yeah.
questions. You got any questions for Cheryl Cobb? Post them in the boom room, guys. We'll be sure to try to get to them. Todd asked, "Did you play any sports growing up?"
Oh yeah, I play basketball. Oh, that Robert.
You play what?
I played basketball and I was good. And wait a minute. Okay, I got another secret too. I used to run track.
Hold on, Cheryl. Hold on. Hold your hand. Let me see your fingernails.
I don't have any rings on.
I know, no, I ain't say which both hands. Let me see just any one of your hands.
I don't have fake nails.
Oh, wow, she whoop you. She ain't got no nails on. She got a straight finger. She a hooper. She a hooper.
She'll whoop you.
Let me tell you a funny story as well. I'll tell you why I'm natural. It's a reason for that because I wore fake nails for like 20 years and they ruined my nails.
Okay.
So I have to just go. So, and it's been fun. It's been different for me. So listen, Robert, do you know that I used to run track?
I didn't.
And I hated it, but it was fun. I was really doing it because they had some really cute boys on the track team. So I would get on the track and I would just run around the track. And let me tell you something. When it was time to race, I was fighting for last place every time. And wait a minute, hold on. But I was running really faster than I thought. There was these three girls. Listen, there were these three girls that beat me every single time at every single meet. And I hated it and I quit. I was like, I'm just not fast. So I was working for the Olympics back in '88. I think it was '88, and the girls that I raced against, uh, uh, Evelyn Ashford, Jackie Joyner Kirsten. Those were some of the girls that I used to race against, and they used to beat me. But I was right behind. I didn't know. I was like, man, I used to run with them. I might have been fast. So I think I might have been fast. I promise. I got to the Olympics at one go. I ran with them, and I was right up on their heels. But I could never. I was like, how did they do that?
Wow.
And speaking of how did they do that, how about?
I got a question for Cheryl though from Madonna. It's Women Rock Wednesday, so we've been answering all these guys' questions. We got to answer Madonna's question. She said, "Have you ever dealt with janky promoters in the past, and how did you handle them?"
All the time. All the time. But you know what? That paperwork.
Oh.
When you have those deposits. Because see, there's a certain way that you do business, and it goes back to the 10 dirty little secrets. If you follow up on the follow-up, you're and see the contract is always important. When you discuss what you're doing and what you're agreeing to, you put it in writing. Mm-hmm. Once you put that in writing, everybody signs up and get that deposit. And the deposit basically secures you. It basically lets you know that if this thing doesn't work, I've been paid. So send me the deposit, and when the contract comes, we feel good. When the deposit comes, we feel better. Once
I got one more for you.
Their mouths are, you feel better because you feel like, okay, this is going to happen. So I'm the type of manager and agent that I believe in collecting the deposit. So if anything does go wrong, and even when you have an ironclad contract, sometimes they still go wrong. But you have deposit. So if anything goes wrong, you've been paid for the day, and you move on to the next day. But yes,
and Jimmy,
but
she's serious.
I've never. I think one time I've not gotten paid, but in the years that I've been in the industry, my clients have always gotten paid.
And guess what, Jimmy? I've been on the road with them. Hey, her client ain't going on that stage unless that other part of that money is paid too. Deposit is just one part of money.
Correct. So, and that's always a part of, and that's a part of the contract. Before we enter onto the stage and perform our services, when we show up, we collect the other end of our money. But see, let me tell you something very unique about that as well. And I have to say this for the audience.
Uh-huh.
When people spend money to come buy a ticket to come and see you, they don't know anything about the killer.
That's right.
So you have to have real discernment when you make a decision not to perform because you're letting a lot of people down. And that's why that deposit is so important. Because at least if you have your deposit, you know you've been paid something. I collect before my clients go on stage or they perform whatever their acts are, but I also consider the audience. They have nothing to do with the janky promoter. It's really messed up with promoters to do that. But I respect the audience. When they pay, you go and do a good show. You give them something. So, yeah, I have been to answer that question. There's some janky promoters out there, and there's some great promoters out there. But I deal on a whole nother level, and where there are contracts, and then the people that I deal with usually have done other shows. They've done other, whether it be live performances, TV shows. They are pretty professional. But you're gonna, when I work with some of the younger acts, they're going to some of the nightclubs. You better get that money up front.
Yeah, and I have a question regarding that particular topic. I remember back in the days, of course, back in the early 90s, I was a part owner of a nightclub in Houston.
Yes.
A lot of the viewers may remember Club 6234 on Richmond. And that was the first, we was hot. Oh, yeah, Jack.
I ain't never heard of it. Keep talking.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, if you was in Houston, you heard of 6234. We ran a few concerts through there, a few acts. And I remember, we had to pay the money up front and we had to do the rider and all that stuff. But now, one of the things that you probably can share with the viewers and having touched the business a little bit from the other side of the fence when we had to pay for the acts, for the talent, that is. When a person goes to a show and they're coming to that last act and it's taking a little long for that person to hit the stage, many of the times, what can you tell them that's probably happening backstage? When it's taking a long time and the person ain't came on stage yet, he supposed to came on at 8. It's 8:30. What's probably happening, Shirley?
That's a very good and fair question. That's a lot of things that happen. Let me give you a couple examples. Most of the time when an act is late is because production ran behind. Somebody at the beginning of the day didn't show up on time to do what they were supposed to do. Whether it be the lights got there late, the sound got there late, the engineer can't make the sound work, and they spend hours and hours and hours trying to get production ready. I would say 80% of the time it's because you're waiting. Say, for example, if you have a sound check at 12 o'clock in the afternoon and you don't get on stage until 3 o'clock for your 1 hour and you got 4 other acts behind you, by the time the 4th act gets there, the doors are open. So sometimes venues hold the doors and some venues don't hold the doors, they open the doors and let the audience in. And so they're still kind of tweaking the sound. And that's usually in the light. That's usually what it is. And then you got some people who are just not professional, who come in, they're going to have a drink, they're going to talk to their friends, they got all their backstage passes, they're having a great time. It's not professional, but people do it all the time. And they get caught up. And what I tell people is that this entertainment thing is not going to last forever. You have to be really careful and not be as so arrogant as to sit there and let tens of thousands of people sit in an audience and wait for you. Because remember, your time is going to pass. And when your time is up, they're going to move on to the next big thing. And you're going to need that audience again. And they're going to say, they have bad reputation. They show up late. I don't want to buy that ticket. I'm not going to sit in the audience for 2 hours and wait for them to perform. So it goes both ways. One for the audience. The audience buys the ticket. They're the people who keep your house note paid. That's how you make your living. And some people are so arrogant that they believe that they can just sit and they can wait because people love them. And people do, and people will wait, but only for so long because when you get a little bit older, people are going to take a second and third thought about buying your ticket. So I will say that most times it's on production. Production is running late, sound check run late. Some people don't get a sound check. They get on stage, and usually those first two or three songs are the sound is bad. And it's not the artist, it's not their fault but they're like trying to tweak it. They're getting angry because they didn't get a sound check. So it could be a plethora of reasons why a show runs late, not the audience. And only reason why they would hold the doors for the audience is if there's rain and there's traffic and everybody's trying to get in. It's a great show, and they may hold the show back. But most times it's production or the arrogance of some people.
Mm. Hey, Todd just said something, Cheryl. I know you got something to do, but Todd just said something. Uh, they want us to ask, who was your worst significant other you had to deal with? If that's a fair question, if you don't mind, if it won't get you in trouble.
So this is what I'll say about that because I'm not here to talk badly about anybody.
Right.
I will say that I did have a client that made a habit of going on stage late, and people waited for him for a very long time. Um, and I thought it was very unfair. And unfortunately, that person is in a lot of trouble right now.
You know what? That person, I served for about 5 or 6 years on the Southwestern Athletic Conference uh, committee. That when they did the SWAC basketball tournament and the football game with championship in Houston for a few years. So I was on the committee, the steering committee for that. It was called a steering committee.
Uh-huh.
And this particular year, also we would choose who would be the artists for each year at halftime of the football championship game.
Right.
This particular year, that former artist of yours, was selected to perform. The announcement was out. Tickets were only $15 for a football game to get the concert, including the concert at halftime. Well, I think it might have been the post halftime.
Yeah.
It was after the game. And because the bands perform at halftime at HBCUs, you're not messing with halftime of an HBCU game. It was a post-game concert on the field. Do you realize? Guess who did not show up? The day before the game, that Friday, we got the announcement in Houston that he had the flu or something. And he made a video and put it on social media. I'm sorry. And then, sure enough, 24 hours later, he was partying somewhere. Did not show up. Yeah. And guess what? Somebody got fired from that position.
Yeah.
Down at this with the
league.
Yeah, downtown Houston. But anyway, so now your book, we getting ready to land the plane. Your Dirty Little Secrets. We've got through the first 4 or 5 of them. Number 5, of course, was honor and integrity. Number 6 was setting boundaries. How about Dirty Little Secret number 7? Know how the money flows.
That's a great question. Let me tell you this. I'm going to go back to something you just said because it's going to connect with know how the money flows. Because nobody's buying you anymore, ain't no money flowing, right? So, but I'm going to tell you this. As a buyer, a promoter, look at that person's track record and know when you're hiring somebody that has a shady past or are consistent with being late, that you're not exempt. So you're taking a risk, even though they may have a big name. If they have a track record in a past, it's like gambling. So be careful with who you hire. When you hire somebody, you want to hire people, show up, do the job, do a great job, keep going on about their business, and you're going to have a happy audience. So be very careful because it does happen. But if they, but that would probably, you probably heard about it before you married that person. You just like person. So be careful. And guess what? Don't get your facts and your feelings mixed up.
Now, Coach
So
Hatter, you got number 8. We're going
I
to
take number 8.
do.
I take number 8. Team players matter. Team players matter.
players manage.
Matter.
So it does. This goes back to the beginning of loyalty and trust. But even when you're doing business in the entertainment, you want to work on your talent, your craft. You and Robert have a wonderful organization over there with the Chop Shop. But if you got to run everything, you got to run the lights, sound, technical, you got to promote. It's hard to be clear and be your best when it's time to get on the network. And as you grow, your team grows. So you have people who have certain responsibilities. In entertainment, you want a good manager.
Right.
You want a good attorney because you want to make sure you get those receipts and those contracts right. You want to get a good business manager who counts the money. And basically, it could be an accountant, it could be a CPA, a bookkeeper, even QuickBooks. But don't let your manager handle the money because that's not what a manager does. Manager manages and makes decisions along with the artist and the team. The business manager handles the business of your money. And a lot of times in entertainment, people say, oh, my manager stole all the money. Well, the manager shouldn't have been handling the money. The business manager should have been handling it. And these people are certified people, usually CPAs, who are licensed and established and are in the business. And you have to watch them too. And you need to watch your own money. Oprah says 101, sign your own check. So some of these chapters all go hand in hand and they kind of connect to each other. Watch how you flow, hiring the right team, and then trusting your team. So now you need a good social media manager, consultant, because social media is a huge part of marketing your project.
Wow.
If you're going to be on the big screen, you need a stylist because you want your brand to be consistent because you're trying to build your brand, right?
Right.
You want a publicist who can open doors and windows of opportunity for you. If you want to grow, you want sponsorships, you want to do red carpets, articles, press, print work, good publicist. This is your team. Your team comes together and along with you, the talent, talk about your career and build a path for your success. You follow the path. If you got a good team and you follow the plan, you're probably going to be pretty successful.
And of course, now, dirty little secret number 9. Pick your battles.
Set your boundaries. Don't, you can work so hard to stress yourself out. People will call you at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and say, I need ice cream. So business and friendship is separate. So you have to set your standards up front. This is what my job is, what my responsibilities are. In the case of an emergency, you can call me 24/7. But you do have to set your boundaries and say, look, these are the hours that I sleep. These are the hours that I work for you. And then guess what? It's not even about the hours. It's also you go to someone's family, get with their friends, you're having conversations that you shouldn't have. There's always boundaries. You're a client or even as an artist. Some things are on the need to know basis. I worked so hard for some clients at one time, and I'll talk about this in my book as well, that I ended up in the hospital, very ill for a very long time. And at the time, my daughter was a little girl. And I'll never forget this day. She walked in the hospital. She'd been to so many hotels. She was a little girl, so she didn't know. She looked around. She says, Mom, now what kind of hotel is this? And it wasn't until that second I realized, wow, I've been so busy that I haven't been paying attention. So I need to learn how to balance my personal life, my home life, as well as my client's life. But sometimes they bleed into each other and you lose yourself. And I realized I did lose myself. There's been a few times where I lost myself and I had to regain my strength. I was ill. Thank God I recovered fully. But I learned really, really valuable lessons in setting those boundaries and knowing when to say no. But also making sure I do my job, doing an excellent job at it, but know that I still have to have a life because it's important. I still have my spiritual life, I still have my friendship, and I still have my friendships and my family. You have to make time for those things that make you happy. Work hard, play hard.
And with that, working hard and play hard takes us and thinks about our last dirty little secret. We've been providing you guys with 10 dirty little secrets, and those will be are published inside of Cheryl Cobb's new book. And the book is called what, Cheryl?
10 Dirty Little Secrets. Subtitle that nobody wants to tell you about the entertainment industry.
And the last one is what you got, Adam?
See the world.
Oh, see the world, baby.
World. People get amnesia. You have a conversation, they don't remember. And guess what? I'm going to follow up to the follow up, and I'm going to CC somebody because I'm going to cover my tail. When you're handling other people, it never fails. You get there, and people don't remember what they say. So if you have it in writing and you copy your assistant or you copy the person, even if you put a simple for our conversation, this is what we discussed. Are we in agreement with this? And they respond. You copy somebody, you leave the person you're doing business with. It'll protect you in the end because I'm telling you, when things can go wrong, they will go wrong.
And of course, hey, Cheryl, we certainly appreciate it. It's been helpful because these 10 dirty little secrets. Once again, guys, you can go if you're on the Facebook feed watching right now, you can go into the search bar in a second and type in 10 dirty little secrets, and it will come up, and you can pre-purchase your book right now and online, and which will be a good thing, supporting it. And these secrets can also be applied to your everyday lives, not just in the entertainment industry. Understand that if you're in business, or in small business, large business, or just trying to restructure the boundaries of your life for 2020, then this may be the book for you indeed. Now, before we get ready to land this plane, we have another question for you. And back to the topic with the boundaries, which was Dirty Little Secret number 6. Bridget asks, are there rules to communicating those boundaries? In other words, how do you say no and keep your job?
Oh, being true to yourself. That's the risk that you take. The reason why people hire me is because I'm honest. I'm not a yes man. You have people, you hire a team to say yes, and you all are going to end up in a world of trouble. So either I'm not for everybody. And I think that people respect you more when you tell the truth. And sometimes it's really hard because there's a possibility, but I'm confident in myself. They trust my business acumen, and I'm not going to do it based on some philosophical, emotional reason. It's going to be the truth. And I'm going to talk to them. We're going to discuss it because guess what? They may not agree. We may agree to disagree. Then if they convince me this is why we need to open up your boundary a little bit more, maybe it makes some sense, and then we'll do that. But it's about an open conversation and an honest conversation. So nothing's written in stone, but you have to negotiate your space with your client, and your client, the artist, has to negotiate their space because you can't get all in their business either. So there's boundaries, and that goes both ways.
And definitely, and want to Corey ask, will the book be available on audio?
Yes, it will be. Actually, I'm working on that right now. So yes, you'll be able to get it on Amazon in both audio, because I know some people don't like to read. But let me just tell you, it's such an easy read. It's only 10 chapters. It's 120 pages, and this will affect your life. It will change your life if you want to be in the entertainment industry. In any aspect of it, it just gives you a little bit of insight on what really happens and things and decisions. It'll help you make decisions on things that you may be questioning. Am I good enough? Am I pretty enough? Smart enough? Know the right people? The answers lie within. Guys, I thank you for this opportunity. I love the Chop Shop. Sometimes I don't say anything, but I'm tuning in. I'm watching you guys. I'm watching you guys grow. I'm so proud of both of you. I like your new concept, the way you guys are coming across right now. I love both of you. I can't wait to come to Houston, to come live in the Chop Shop.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I see that. We'll get you down there real soon. And definitely thanks so much, Cheryl Cobb, guys. And as you guys can see, looking at the clock, It's time to slide on down Dino's back and yabba dabba do this thing. Guess what? Happy Women Rock Wednesday.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the AKAs out there on their Founders Day. Shout out to all you guys who were watching. We appreciate the love. Make sure you share the show to your timelines and your friends. Spread the word. Stop being stingy. Tell the world about the Chop Shop, guys. Anyway, we up out of here tonight. Don't forget, you can catch us over at University of Houston, SMU versus U of H. Boss. It's going down. Hey, how about the Houston Rockets are hosting the Portland Trail Blazers tonight? Carmelo Anthony gets his opportunity to get some get back against the Rockets. Who's going to win that? That and a lot more. We'll talk about that on tomorrow, guys. But, on behalf of Robert Allen, of course, thanks so much. I would call her the Don, the OG. I had you raise your hand up. I want to make sure you didn't have a ring on your pinky finger because that's some mafia boss that you was doing right there. Anyway, everything. That's what it is. Dawn Cheryl. That's what we're going to call her. Anyway, thanks so much. We'll see you guys in 22 hours. Big peace. Chop shop.
See you later, Cheryl. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye, guys.